The Microscopic Odyssey. In a hidden corner of the city, surrounded by towering glass skyscrapers, stood a modest research facility known only to a few. Inside, Dr. Elena Marsden had been working tirelessly for years on her life's greatest invention, a machine she called the particle bridge. Its purpose was as bold as it was revolutionary: to shrink objects and living beings to the scale of atoms, granting them access to the microscopic world. Dr. Marsden was not alone in her pursuit. Her young assistant, Leo Carter, had joined her lab 6 months earlier. Leo, a college student with a knack for thinking outside the box, spent most of his days assisting with the machine's complex calibrations. Though fascinated by the project, he couldn't help but wonder what secrets lay hidden in the microscopic realm. One cloudy afternoon, as rain tapped rhythmically on the lab's windows, the particle bridge hummed to life during a routine test. The air shimmered faintly with energy, and the machine's core glowed a soft blue. Dr. Marsden stepped back to monitor the readings on her tablet. "Leo, could you grab the energy stabilizer for me? It should be on the second shelf," she called out. "Yes, Dr. Marsden," Leo replied eagerly. As he reached for the device, his elbow accidentally brushed against the particle bridge's control panel. A sharp mechanical beep sounded, followed by a sudden burst of light. Before Leo could react, he felt his entire body compress, as if he were being pulled through a narrow tunnel. When he opened his eyes, he was no longer in the lab. Leo stood on a vast, shimmering surface that stretched out endlessly before him. It wasn't solid ground, but rather a lattice of carbon atoms bonded in perfect symmetry. A graphene sheet. The material was smooth yet rigid, and it pulsed faintly with energy as vibrations rippled through its structure. Where am I?" Leo whispered, his voice resonating strangely in the microscopic air. Above him, a swarm of hydrogen atoms zipped by, their small spherical forms glowing faintly like fireflies in the dark. Nearby, a group of water molecules hovered, their oxygen and hydrogen atoms locked in a graceful spinning dance. "This is incredible," Leo exclaimed, unable to believe his eyes. As he walked across the graphene sheet, he felt the immense scale of the microscopic world. Everything was in constant motion, vibrating with the energy of life at the atomic level. Not far from where Leo stood, he noticed something extraordinary. A massive structure resembling a twisting tower. It was an enzyme, a complex protein responsible for catalyzing chemical reactions. Leo watched in awe as the enzyme's active site latched onto a sugar molecule, breaking it apart with mechanical precision. "This is biology in action," he thought. "It's like watching the inner workings of life itself." Leo marveled at the enzyme's efficiency, but his wonder quickly turned to fear as the ground beneath him began to shake. A nearby molecule had been ionized, releasing a surge of electromagnetic energy. The field created by the charged particle was pulling Leo toward it with alarming force. Gripping the magnifying glass he still held, a tool that had been shrunken along with him, Leo instinctively angled it to reflect the energy. The glass emitted a faint glow as it deflected the magnetic pull, allowing him to regain his footing. "I need to find a way back," he muttered. As Leo searched for an escape, he stumbled upon a breathtaking sight. A cluster of phospholipids, their tails forming a perfect bilayer membrane. Beyond it lay a cellular organelle, a mitochondrion, its inner folds glowing faintly as it processed energy. Leo stood in awe of the microscopic power station, watching as it converted nutrients into usable energy. This world is more alive than I ever imagined, he thought. Then in the distance Leo saw a familiar glow, the particle bridge. Dr. Marsden must have reactivated the machine, creating a portal to bring him back. Hang on, Leo. Her voice echoed faintly through the air. Follow the light. Summoning all his courage, Leo ran across the graphene sheet, leaping over clusters of molecules and dodging unpredictable forces. As he approached the glowing portal, the light enveloped him, and the world around him dissolved into a blur. With a gasp, Leo reappeared in the lab, collapsing onto the cold metallic floor. Dr. Marsden rushed to his side. "Leo, are you all right?" she asked, her face filled with concern. "I'm fine," Leo panted, his heart racing. "But you wouldn't believe what I saw." He described the lattice of graphene, the enzymes at work, the electromagnetic fields, and the glowing mitochondrion. Dr. Marsden listened intently, her excitement growing with every word. "This is the breakthrough we've been waiting for," she said. "Leo, you've proven that the particle bridge works. But more than that, you've shown us that there's an entire world waiting to be explored." Leo smiled, still catching his breath. "Dr. Marsden, I think we've just scratched the surface. Imagine what we could learn down there." As the rain continued to fall outside, the two scientists began planning their next experiment. They knew the microscopic world held infinite possibilities, and this was just the beginning of their journey.